Well, hello and welcome to the principal's office. I am Principal Edward Gordon. I'm so glad you have tuned in for this special broadcast where we'll be focusing on the power of personal growth and professional development. In the book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, written by Dr. John C. Maxwell, he talks about the law of modeling. The law of modeling states it's hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. A good mentor is a worthy example, available, has proven experience, possesses wisdom, provides friendship, provides support, and makes a difference in people's lives. We believe there are many outstanding leaders in this world, and today I want to highlight one of my mentors that has provided a model of excellence for me and many others. Help me welcome to the show today, Mr. Cedric Lafleur. Hello, Cedric.
Well, hello, Edward. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so glad you're on the show today.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Always look forward to seeing your show when it's on. And now that I'm on it, that's awesome.
Yes, I'm excited to have you as a guest. And before we get started, I just want to start off with a brief introduction of Mr. Cedric Lafleur. Cedric Lafleur is a motivational and empowering senior executive with more than 30 years of success across the healthcare sales, leadership, and sports industries. Cedric has been married to Tammy for 34 years. They have two children, TK and Patrick. Cedric is the founder and chief executive at Leflore Leadership Institute, where he has created a successful company which delivers workshops, seminars, keynote speeches, and coaching for organizations focused on leadership development. Cedric is an executive director with John Maxwell team. His responsibilities include executive leadership training, coaching, and keynote speaking internationally. Recently, he was in Costa Rica helping lead a government leadership transformation for the Costa Rican government. In addition, Cedric is a Dave Ramsey certified master financial coach where he provides financial literacy training to individuals and organizations across the U.S. Cedric is the chairman of the Executive Leadership Circle, which is a private organization where thought leaders discuss and address global topics. Finally, he serves as founding partner and president of Lake Charles Education Collaboration Incorporated, a 501c3 education based think tank. Their focus is to help low performing and failing schools improve academic outcomes. Cedric recently retired as regional sales manager from Abbott Laboratories after serving for 22 years. And we are so excited to have Cedric Lafleur on the show today. Once again, thank you, Cedric, for being on the show. And I want to start off with just saying that Eric Tomic states, you are the executive director and screenwriter of your life. Cedric, what is your story?
Yeah, well, Eric Thomas ET is the man, and whatever he says, I'm listening because that guy is just he's awesome. He helps. He's one of those true transformational leaders. My story is this. I got married at the age of 19, and my girlfriend was 17 at the time. And let me tell you what, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how life was going to turn out for us. All we knew is we had love and we had a dream, and we still wanted to go to college. We still both wanted to have good careers and all that type stuff. And along the way, along that journey, Edward, we had a couple of kids. And along that journey, we decided to make ourselves available to go into another level from a financial standpoint, meaning financial literacy, to learn how to be better at managing money. Because one day, Edward, we found ourselves broke. We had expenses that were here and income that was here. And we said there had to be a better way. And once we understood and accepted where we were, we went to a whole nother level and we changed our life from that day forward forever. And we changed it so much so that We are now multimillionaires. I was able to retire from corporate America at the age of 50 and now do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And, when they say living the dream, I'm truly living the dream. And I want everybody to know that the dream, whatever your dream is, it can be the American dream, it could be the whatever dream, whatever it is, I want you to know you can live it because I'm living it. Right. I'm true. I'm a true picture of that dream coming to reality.
Very good. Thank you for sharing the story with our audience. And there's two words that resonated when you were telling the story about love and a dream. And it doesn't matter if it's a personal growth and journey or your professional. Having that love, that passion, and a dream is definitely going to bring you to your destiny. So thank you very much for sharing that with the audience. And I want to ask you, what gets you excited every day?
Well, the first thing that gets me excited is that I have a day, that I wake up, right? So that's the very first thing. But the other thing that really gets me excited, I'm one of these weird people, Edward, that I love seeing people reach a goal, right? I like helping people to figure out what that goal should be, but I really love seeing when someone reach their goal. Right. It excites me. It just gets me happy when I see someone, the light comes on for them and they go, man, I reached the dream that I was working on. Right. I truly love celebrating other people, helping them reach the level that they want to get to. Right. Some people get envious around that type stuff. Not me. Because see, what it does is it helps me continue to stay humble, and it also helps me continue to want to help somebody else reach that dream. It's a euphoric feeling that you have when you see someone else reach their dream. And we learn, Edward, in this leadership development space, that once you've tasted significance, success will never satisfy. Well, some people say, what does that mean? Well, here's what it means. Success is adding value to yourself and celebrating for yourself. Significance, on the other hand, that's adding value to other people and celebrating other people. That's what life is all about. That's what I want. That's what I love. So that's what excites me every day.
That's wonderful. That's excellent. And I'm so glad that you are in the leadership development area. You're a mentor and a coach, and you have that excitement in terms of and that knowledge about the significance, seeing other people successful and reaching their goals. And that's great. And that's something, a quality that everyone should be looking for in a mentor, someone that's going to help them get to that next level and desires that for them. So that is a wonderful value that you have. As you think about personal growth and also professional growth, what is a book that you are reading at this current time, and what in that book is definitely helping you move to the next level?
Yeah. So can I share two books with you?
Yes, you can.
So, I'm always an overachiever. So I like to go above and beyond. Right. The first one it's called The 30 Observations of Leadership. Right. And this book was written by a former corporate president of mine, Joe Nimmers. And what Joe did with this book is talk about leadership principles, but he did it in a different way. He's giving real life examples that he learned through his career, right? And these are stories about some leadership principle, but they're all real. And it's also, some of the names in here I know and I recognize, but I didn't know the backstory, right? So, but it's helping me to better understand these leadership principles and that he explained through this book. The other book is this one's called The Millionaire Booklet by Grant Cardone. Now, Grant and I grew up in Lake Charles. He's from Lake Charles as well. I didn't know, I'm older than him, but he grew up in Lake Charles as well. But this booklet right here, it's all about, he says, how to get super rich, right? And talking about taking your life to a whole nother level. He put some concepts in there. Edward, that are very simple to understand around finances. I'm sorry, I have one more I have to show you because
No problem.
I just finished this book, and it's called How Successful People Think, right? And it's by John Maxwell. And one of the things that I really like about the book is the way that he organizes his thoughts around what things people do who are successful, and it's really all around their thinking. That's really the difference between someone who's successful and not successful, is how they think every day, how they process things every day, how they see things every day. So those are the books. I know you asked for one, but that's the books. And I normally read multiple books at one time. And just so you know that I'm reading it, you can see all my pages are in here with highlights. That's me taking notes.
Well, I thank you for sharing those three great texts, and I'll definitely be able to share those in the comments. You can look below. I'll be able to share those links for anyone that's interested in purchasing those books for their own personal or professional growth. So thank you very much for sharing that with the audience. As we think about personal and professional development and growth, what is your most recent professional development experience for yourself?
Yeah. So you can't give, the law of contribution says you can't give what you don't have, right? Mm-hmm. So in order for me to help others grow, I have to continue growing, right? And so I'm actually in the middle of an Eric Thomas conference. And I say I'm in the middle of it because it's like 2 months. You pay for it and it starts, and it's been going for like 2 months. And every few days they have a webinar that will release, a training session that will release. And if you get a chance to listen to Eric Thomas, E.T., I mean, the man is powerful, right? Mm-hmm. He brings it. He helps you become this transformational person. And I've said transformation a couple of times, so I want to make sure that your audience understand when I say the word transformation. Transformation is something that makes you change. It makes you have this aha moment. Not every leader in the leadership development space is a transformational leader. They give you a lot of information, but they may not make you have this aha moment to make you take some action. And Eric Thomas is one of those guys that makes you have an aha moment and says, okay, I got to do something about this. So Eric Thomas is the person that I've been doing this with recently. But before then, I'm obviously an executive director with the John Maxwell team. And John is also one of those people who's a transformational leader. I've had a lot of aha moments over the last several years being a part of the John Maxwell team. And so that's another area of growth. And he has so many books. You can read all of them and get different aha moments.
Very good. As we, over the last couple of minutes, we've been talking about books that you have read. We've talked about professional development conferences that you're attending. And I know that you understand the importance of mentorship. Is there a mentor that you would like to be able to talk about, and also about your experience with that mentor that has really changed or impacted your life?
Yeah, well, and I have multiple mentors, but the one I really want to highlight is really my grandfather. Now, my grandfather, Frank Washington, Sr., is no longer with us, but he's the one that has had the most impact in my life. A lot of mentors have had impact over the years in my professional life and in my adult life, but my foundation comes from that mentor. Frank Washington Sr., my grandfather. He was a strong, steady man and well-respected man. And the things that he taught me, said things like this, and you don't even think about it until you become an adult, right? He said things like, save for a rainy day. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, you hear that as a kid and you're like, okay, yeah, what does that mean? Right? It's raining outside, so I can go buy something now. right? Uh, Now we raise chickens, and he say don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I used to always, well, why does he want me to have different, different baskets for the chicken eggs or something? I don't know, but you don't think about those things. But then when you become an adult and you start learning about financial literacy and investing, you understand what it means. Now, diversifying, right? Just different terminology, right? But
Yes.
that foundation came from don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Mhm.
So my grandfather was the ultimate mentor for me in terms of helping me understand how to be a man, in terms of helping me understand how to be responsible for your family. Then also I got to see him retire. And I still remember his retirement party, the night and the event, like it was yesterday. And I always dreamed of having that retirement. Now he retired when he was in his 60s, and like I said, I retired when I was 50. So got to up level that some. But yeah, my grandfather was my ultimate mentor.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that story about your grandfather. And one of the words that came out in terms of what you're talking about was diversification. And when we think about that in terms of an individual, someone in the audience right now looking to grow, what would you share in terms of advice about diversification when it comes to personal growth and professional development? How can they diversify their experiences to really get them to the next level?
Yeah, well, the law of significance, which is out of a book that John writes, 15 Above Laws of Growth, says one is too small a number to achieve greatness, right? Well, what does that mean? That means that you can do some good things in your life. You can do some good things for your family, but none of us can really do great things, significant things by ourselves. We're always going to need somebody else to help us. And with this law of significance, it reminds me all the time, and this is what the audience should understand, is you're going to need somebody else in your corner. You're going to need not one mentor. You're going to need 2, 3, 4, 5 mentors. You may need a female mentor for a certain period in your life. You may need a male mentor certain point in your life. You may, if you're a Black person, you may need that Caucasian mentor that's going to help you navigate certain things that you're struggling with. You may need another male perspective, a younger person's perspective, right? Diversifying your thoughts and the people who are around you can help take you a lot farther than if you're just surround yourself with all of the same type of people. Everybody, you need to have people that have different strengths. And different than you have to help you. You don't want a bunch of yes men or women around you. You want people who are willing to say, Cedric, you're wrong. Cedric, this is not right. Right now, maybe I don't take the advice the right way, or maybe you don't take the advice the right way. But as long as you think about it later and then potentially take some action on it. So diversifying your the people that are around you is extremely important, and can definitely help take your career and your life to different places that you can't do by yourself.
Very good. Well, thank you for sharing with the audience about the importance of diversification when it comes to personal growth and professional development. Our relationship began in August of last year when I joined the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. And then from there, you have truly been a mentor and a coach for me in various areas of my personal life as well as professional life as I started this journey of entrepreneurship. And just talking about one portion of your mentorship towards me is that you have multiple weekly broadcasts on different social media platforms of Talk Leadership with Cedric. And this is really the inspiration for the show that we're on today, The Principal's Office. And just by you modeling excellence, your shows, how you led your interviews, definitely sparked the idea for me to actually start the principal's office. And I just want to say thank you for modeling leadership, being a coach and a mentor for me, and always pushing me to the next level. And that's why I want to encourage everyone in the audience to definitely have a mentor and a coach in your life to be able to bring you to the next level. So I just want to say thank you for the influence that you have had on my life, and also for this show that has been going on now since January of this year. So I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And it's been awesome knowing you. And it's also, remember I said earlier that I love seeing people thrive and reach their goals. And you have been one of those people that just been watching you taking something and put it into action, right? Not just sitting back. There's a lot of people that sit back and say, well, I'm going to wait. And, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Well, you see, here's the thing, Edward. Uneducated people give themselves excuses. Educated people, they're too smart for that. So what do? They give themselves alibis. Now, at the end of the day, it all means the exact same thing. What they're doing is giving themselves reasons why they can't or they shouldn't do something. You see? And I don't see that from you. I see you saying, okay, let me understand this. And then you take it and you run with it and you implement. That's the way you change your life, folks. That's the way you make a difference in somebody else's life. That's the way you go from ordinary to extraordinary. Now, I know you have a lot of educators on there and they're probably going, extraordinary. The word is extraordinary. All right. I know that. I get that. I don't like that word. I like extraordinary. You see, folks, the only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is extra. You see, the only difference between winning and losing is belief. The only difference between a person reaching their full potential and not reaching their full potential is desire. So it's that little extra. The only difference between hot water and boiling water is 1 degree. You see, at 211 degrees, water is hot. At 212 degrees, water boils. With boiling water comes steam. With steam, you can power a train. The only difference is the person that wants to go that little extra every day. And folks, if you're a millennial, let me tell you what that little extra is. That's you staying, instead of leaving at 4 every week, that's you staying to 5 or maybe 6. All right. That's you maybe shortening your lunch a little bit, right? Instead of taking an hour for lunch, maybe you're taking 30 minutes. Maybe today you only need 15 minutes to get it down and go get that work in, right? Maybe it's you making that one extra phone call this week. That little extra makes all the difference in the world. If you're in education, it's that one little extra I care about you to that student that could make all the difference in the world. And that student saying, I want to come back to Miss Smith or Miss Jones or Mr. Bobby's class. You see, that little thing that you do could make a big difference in somebody's life. Now, Edward, I just realized something too when I was talking here. All right, because I want to make sure I give people the right reference, right? The law of significance, I say, is out of 15 invaluable laws of growth, is actually out of 17 indisputable laws of teamwork, right? It just popped in my head that I said that, and I was like, oh, I got to correct that, right? So.
Yes, I don't want to get a message from John saying that we quoted the wrong book.
Exactly. Yeah, it popped in my head, and I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Very good. But thank you for really expressing your passion and also teaching the audience referencing motivations and what's going to move them to the next level. So let's transition and let's talk a little bit more about the vision and mission of the Leflore Leadership Institute.
Yeah. So, Leflore Leadership Institute, we exist to help your organization grow best-in-class leaders, to help your team improve its performance, to accelerate your company's market momentum, to ensure that your team delivers outstanding customer experiences. We exist to help your team go from ordinary to extraordinary. That's it. That's the only reason why we exist. And if we can help your team go from ordinary to extraordinary in what they do, in their thinking, in their actions on a daily basis, we know that your business will thrive. There's no questions about it. We know that your business will thrive, and it doesn't matter if you're in a school, if you're in a Fortune 500 company, if you're in a gas station, if you're in a car dealership, wherever you are. If we help your team go from ordinary to extraordinary, your business is going to thrive.
Very good. And on the screen is the website for Leflore Leadership Institute. It's just simple www.lefloreleadershipinstitute.com. And you can reach out to Cedric Lafleur and really talk about how the Institute and his leadership and his team can help you move to the next level.
Yeah. And, Edward, I want to set the stage for our audience. So, for 22 years, I ran part of the sales organization for one of the top 10 largest pharmaceutical companies in the world. For 22 years, helping lead high-performing salespeople. And when I say high-performing salespeople, I'm talking about people who are making some major impact in the healthcare industry and growing that business. And so what I do at Leflore Leadership Institute is we take all of those principles and processes and systems that we put in place for these high performing teams. And we take those concepts and we bring them to your business as well to help you implement some of those things. And it's really, a lot of it is right through here, right? How people think on a daily basis. You see, if you have people who are thinking about being intentional about a customer experience, if you have people who are thinking about being intentional about influencing someone on their team, then we know that they're going to be a more productive employee. We know that they are going to be highly, highly successful because of the way that they think, their actions, and everything that they do. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level, if you're looking for someone to help take your team to a level that they can't go by themselves, that's what we do at Leflore Leadership Institute.
Very good. Very good. So thank you again for sharing that vision and mission about Leflore Leadership Institute with the audience. So let's talk a little bit about your work in schools. What are some of the challenges schools and school districts are having, and how has your institute been able to improve school districts?
Yeah, Edward, it's amazing, but we work in some amazing school districts across the country, and we've seen some amazing both adults in the room as well as students in the room. But we've also seen the opposite side of that as well, and we know that students who have a mentor, meaning, let me clarify this, what we call an adult developmental relationship. Okay, it's extremely important to students. And Search Institute, which is the largest education-based research organization in the U.S., did a survey, and they said that there's 25,000 students that was in the survey. 40% of those students said that they either had one or no adult developmental relationship. Now that's a sad story. Every day, all day, right? And so our role is to try to help improve that. And we know that students that have mentors, they are more successful than students that don't have mentors. Let me give you some stats, or I don't want to just say it openly, because I know you have some educators that are looking at, so how does he know that? All right. So some of the data says, mentor.org data says, students who have a mentor are 55% more likely to enroll in college. Students that have a mentor are 78% more likely to volunteer regularly. Students who have a mentor are 52% less likely to skip a day of school, and students that have a mentor are 37% less likely to skip class versus those students who don't have mentors, right? So we understand that up front, and that's the basis of everything that we do with students, is give them that mentor to help them with their social and emotional learning. Right. I know that's a big buzzword now, but that's really what we're trying to do. Give them an outlet, give them someone that they can go talk to that's not judging them. And this is what students tell us when we're in schools. They say, we love coming to your class and your session because you don't judge us. You accept us for who we are. And now, do we try to elevate their thinking? Absolutely. Do we try to help them make better choices? Absolutely. Do we try to help them better understand how to have gratitude? Absolutely. What we do, though, is we just listen to them, though. Let them talk and then help. See, we try to employ the listen first to understand, then to be understood. You see, nobody, even if you're an adult, right? You don't want to be lectured to. Well, guess what? They don't either. So what we don't lecture to students. We listen and then we try to educate. And I'm not saying that educators don't do that. I'm not saying that at all. I want to make sure people get that clearly. But it's sort of like, as a parent, your child listens to the parent across the street more than they listen to you. So the teacher's with the student all the time, and maybe sometimes they don't listen. Then we come in and say the exact same thing that the teacher said, and you go, "Oh my God, this is the best thing I ever heard." Right? So that's how we impact students on a daily basis, and I'm sure we'll talk about a program we recently launched that kind of helps go along that line with students.
Yes, definitely. So let's jump into your new program, Wave Youth Leadership Program, and just share with the audience what is the vision and mission behind that program and how it's going to support schools across the world.
Yeah, so we want everybody to catch the wave. Dr. Nick, when she's doing like this, and I say, "Hey, we're gonna do the Papa Lock methodology here. We're gonna catch the wave, right?"
Yeah, that's more my language too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, Dr. Nick's too young to understand Papa Lock, so don't tell her I said that. All right.
I know she's watching.
Ed would force me to say it, Dr. Nick. So, but at Wave Youth Leadership, we exist to help school districts accelerate academic achievement of all students, right? Particularly, though, the low-performing, underperforming students, right? And our goal is to help improve values, ethics, character-driven type things, mindset, right? And we know at the Search Institute put together this developmental relationship framework, right? And it's based around these 5 core values with 20 different actions. Now, I'm going to go through the 20 different actions with you, but here are the 5 core values that they came up with in this framework, and we've actually made it a part of our core values with Wave Youth Leadership. In this survey of these 25,000 students, here's what they said. Number 1, they said, "Show me that I matter." So our core value is express care. The next thing they said is, "Push me to keep getting better." Our core value is challenge growth. The third thing they said is, "Help me to complete tasks and complete goals." So our third core value is provide support to them, right? The fourth thing they said, Edward, is treat me with respect and give me a say. Now, everybody wants respect and wants to be respected, and everybody wants a seat at the table, right? Well, that's what our youth want as well. So our core value here is share power with them, right? And think about this as an adult. If nobody's listening to you in your job every day, you don't believe people are paying attention to you, then you go home and you don't believe anyone is paying attention to you, right? And then you go out in the street, you don't believe anyone is paying attention to you. Are you going to be excited about learning and growing and getting better? No. Well, so are the students. That's what students are saying. So it's share power with them. The last thing that they said, and which is our 5th core value, they said, connect me with people and places that broaden my horizons. In other words, take me to places I can't go on my own, right? So our 5th core value is expand possibilities, right? And Wave Youth Leadership is the #1 evidence-based youth leadership program in the United States, and it's going to catch a wave. We just launched it officially this month, and it's going to catch a wave with people and organizations and school districts and youth groups around the U.S. And we already know that when you help empower a student, especially these iGeners, those are the ones who are in school today, or Generation Z, they're ones that's in school today. When you empower them, they make an impact, right? Here's the thing. You see, back in our day, Edward, well, you're younger than me, but back in my day, we had to go to the library and learn the Dewey Decimal System, and we had to wait till the library opened and all this type of stuff. I still don't know the Dewey Decimal System, but we don't have to worry about it. It's what we had to do, right? Now, today, students' Dewey Decimal System is right here. It's right on this phone, right? They don't have to wait to get information, to find out information like we had to. They get it instantly. So they want it instantly, right? So what we have to do is be instant in how we express care, how we challenge growth, how we provide support, how we share power, and how we help them expand their possibilities. And that's through listening and involving them in the process. And with WAVE, we involve students in the process of learning. So we're excited about it.
It sounds like an excellent program. So can you just share with the audience how they can learn more about the WAVE Youth Leadership, and also some upcoming training and events that you have around this program?
Yeah. So the first thing that they could do is just go to waveyouthleadership.com, and you see the link on the screen, be in the chat as well. It's waveyouthleadership.com. Our website there kind of explains the program. This week we are looking for WAVE ambassadors, and a WAVE ambassador is going to be the person that goes to your school or to your youth group to share the program, to facilitate the program. And these would, imagine in your community, wherever you are, you could be in Ohio, you can be in Michigan, you could be in California, you could be in Connecticut, New Jersey, Louisiana. A WAVE ambassador is coming to your school to help empower your students. Man, it's a wonderful thing. And they're going to be all over. We're going to have WAVE ambassadors all over the United States going into schools and youth groups to help your students understand choices and gratitude and leadership, and how to communicate, how to debate, how to better research, how to create their own values and understand their value system. That's what we're going to be doing. And that's what we're going to be bringing to schools and youth groups all over the U.S. You want to find out more about it, just go to waveyouthleadership.com, and you can reach out to us, and we can come talk to your school about it. And or the WAVE ambassador for your area can come and talk to you about it.
Very good. Thank you very much for sharing the information about the WAVE Youth Leadership Program with the audience. And one thing, you were talking about this, even for me as a former principal and school leader, we're always thinking about funding, how to get the money to provide these type of quality programs to our schools. And sometimes even for myself as a school leader, I made some investments in some programs that didn't result in the positive results that I was looking for my students as well as for my staff. And what are some suggestions that you will have for school leaders, school superintendents, in reference to effectively utilizing their funding to provide these type of high quality programs to your schools?
Yeah, well, so for low performing and underperforming schools, Title I, that's really what it's for, right? And a lot of times, quite frankly, I see school systems purchasing something that they've purchased every year for the last 10 years, and they just keep purchasing it, even though it's not effective. And they put it in the closet, and then they go back the next school year and they go to the budget and say, okay, well, we got to buy this program because we've been buying it every year. Right. Now, quite frankly, that's what happened when I was in the military, in the Air Force. We bought stuff that we didn't use, and it just sits in the closet, and then we throw it away, and then we order another one. Right. It's because we're in that comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Right. The way you change what happens in your school and outcomes in your school is you got to evaluate everything that you're purchasing and not do it just because that's what we've always done. You see, I know you know the definition of insanity, but what I want you to understand is you can change that. You just have to be willing to get outside your comfort zone. You know, Edward, it reminds me of the story. These two little boys were fishing, and they were catching these little small fish, and they put the small fish in their bucket. And then all of a sudden, he hooked a big fish. And now he wrestled with this big fish for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or so. And finally, he got it in. They were all excited. They picked the fish up. They looked at it. They were like, wow, this is nice. They took a picture of it and everything. And then he unhooked the fish and he threw it back in the water. And his friend said, whoa, wait a minute. Why'd you do that? And he says, well, my frying pan is only 9 inches wide. You see, this reminds me of some people and their limiting thinking, right? You have to do something different in order to get different results. And sometimes you got to look at what we've been buying because it's been on our list for all these years doesn't mean it's the right thing. So I'm going to ask you, Mr. Principal, Mr. Superintendent out there, Mrs. Superintendent out there, Mrs. Principal. What's your frying pan story? What's your limiting belief? What's holding you back from taking your school to the next level? Is it you're not willing to listen to new programs that are out there? You're not willing to try something different to see if it's going to have a different outcome. You see, I'm going to tell you who you're hurting is your student. You see, the funds are always going to be there, right? But you're hurting the student. If you want the student to be different, the adults in the building have to be different. The adults in the building have to then change this right here, what they do on a consistent, a daily basis, right? There's some great teachers out there, some great administrators out there. But you guys also know there's some that are not so great either. They're just, we call them in the military road, retired on active duty. They show up every day. They get the paycheck, Edward. Right? But they retired. Right? They just don't go home. They just show up in the building every day. And who's hurting? Our students are hurting. And you know how we know that? Because students don't have, they said 40% of them said they don't have an adult developmental relationship. So we know that the data is saying it, right? We understand that teen suicide rate is high. It's because they don't have someone to go talk to so they can trust. So sometimes you got to do things a little bit different. You see, when you have the ability to lead, you should always lead. When you lead successfully, people will follow. Your students will follow. When people follow you, it is because you influence them. And when you influence people, you are a leader. And I just want you to know, superintendent and principal out there, I love that you're in the profession of education. I just want you to think about the Title I funds you're getting, the Title II funds you get, maybe even 3 or 4, Title 3 or 4 funds that you're getting, and utilize them wisely, more effective. Sometimes cut out some of that old stuff and bring in something new that's going to help the kids today. You know, I was talking, Edward, to a gentleman, a deacon at a church that's going to bring me in to do some leadership development training and financial literacy training. And they want me to talk about my story from, you know, going to from rag to riches and all this type of stuff. And I'm going to talk about it. And one of the things we're talking about the title, and he talked about stewardship. And he says, but our young people don't come. He says average age is going to be between 40 and 60 and all that. I said, well, that's good. I said, but the challenge is this. The reason why is because we use the words that the 40 to 60-year-old understand and they get it. But the millennials and the iGens, the ones who you keep saying you want, you're not using the right terms for them. Right? It's the same thing in everything that we do in life. We have to market to the people that we want to be there. So we have to use terms that are more relevant to them. Right? And this is what we have to do in school systems. Everyone communicates, Edward, but few people connect. We're trying to help school systems connect with students where they are. And they're right here. And then we can help bring them up to another. Now, I know I've said a whole lot of stuff, but it's just important. I just believe it's so important.
No, your message was so clear and is on time. And as you were talking, I was just getting excited and I was smiling because you put out a challenge for superintendents and principals, and it's the same challenge I have for them at this time as well. Right now, we're in the month of March. And as two things I'm asking. I'm asking that everyone that is watching this broadcast on social media, share it with other administrators, spread the news. There's a lot of good information that was shared today around personal growth and professional development. Also, in this month of March, take time to evaluate the programs you have in your buildings right now. Are they working? Are they getting the results that your students and staff deserve and need for a time? If not, think about new ideas, new programs, new programs and professional development to bring into your schools that are going to really make a difference. I just want to encourage and challenge, do not keep doing the same thing over and over with limited results. Our students deserve a greater impact for their academics, and also, especially now as we're going through this pandemic, the social emotional learning, they need additional support and they need the mentors in our schools. So Cedric Lafleur has shared so much information with the audience today. Again, the website is on the screen, Leflore Leadership Institute. You can reach out to them directly. And also the new program that is coming out that is supporting students in grades 3 through high school is the WAVE Youth Leadership Program. And I know for the elementary, it's in English as well as in Spanish. And for high school, there will be a Spanish version that's coming out in the near future. But definitely go to the website, learn more about this exciting program that's going to make a great impact for our schools all around this world. And as we close out, Cedric, I just wanted to, again, this audience is for students, parents, teachers, different superintendents, principals, aspiring teachers, and aspiring administrators. What is one thing that you would like to share with the audience about effective professional development that is going to make a difference in their organizations?
Yeah, that's absolutely great. And let me say this right quick. I have this shirt on. It's called, everybody always asking me, well, what is that shirt you had on? It's called Millionaire Boys Mentoring. And this is a program we created that was a 5th grade boys program that we created that's designed to help little boys think like they're millionaires. Right. When they hear that I'm a millionaire, they get all excited and they want to talk about it. And some of the little boys say, I never thought about being a millionaire before. I never thought about that I could do it. Right. It's all about mindset shifting. Right. Let me tell you what I want to leave with the audience around your question around getting better. The law of Mount Everest. The law of Mount Everest says, as the challenge escalates, the need for teamwork elevates. I want to make sure you get that. As the challenge escalates, as it gets more difficult, the need for teamwork elevates. See, as the journey grows in difficulty, you can no longer cruise along with ordinary talent and average cooperation. You can't do the same thing that you've always been doing. So to climb past those obstacles to your dreams and to help students pass, climb past those obstacles and reach new heights, you need to have a team of peak performers around those students, right? That's going to be some peak performing teachers. That's going to be some peak performing administrators. That's going to be some peak performing custodians, some cafeteria workers, as well as some WAVE ambassadors, right? You're going to need these peak performers working in unison and clicking on all cylinders to help your school go to a whole nother level. And that's what we want to do with WAVE Youth Leadership. Now, we're going to be rolling this out, and the train is going to leave the station. We just want your school, wherever you are, we want you to be on board. And if you want to talk about this, you want to help us to find an ambassador in your area, well, just reach out to us, waveyouthleadership.com, and we definitely can help you take your team and your students to a whole nother level. Thank you very much, Edward, for having me on the show today. I definitely enjoyed it, and hopefully your audience gets something out of it. Now, if you get a whole lot of negative feedback, then, that's going to be on you. Don't call me.
No problem. No problem. Well, I just want to say thank you for being on the show today, and thank you for modeling excellence for me and many others. For everyone watching, thank you for tuning in for this special edition of the Principal's Office. And join us every Friday at 12 p.m. for another episode with an amazing leader who has done things significantly for themselves, for others, and with others. I just want everyone to have a great week and see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye-bye.